All right, let's open up the doors to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I absolutely love technology because not only were we streaming on 3 different platforms yesterday, but today we have just opened up the floodgates. Thank you to one of our co-hosts and our assistant executive production manager, who is also our lead social media manager, who has just made it absolutely possible for us to go now on. I counted 12, but you were mentioning just a few minutes ago, AJ, that we're on a couple others that I didn't have on my list. So, folks, wherever you want to go find Daily with Doc, you're going to find Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of Daily with Doc, I am super excited to be able to bring this empowering information to you. Folks, we do not have to be slaves to any system. We have it within ourselves when we know the information, when we have the information to take control of our lives. And that's what this program is all about. It's about giving you tools to put in your toolbox to help you with each and every minute of the life. Because think about it, we are continually creating cells within the body. And this program is going to help you get that information that then educates you on how to make sure those cells are the healthiest they absolutely can be, because as we're generating, it takes more than just air, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So just want to make sure all of you know that. And I want to welcome everybody who is here live with us in our Zoom. They have gone to dailywithdoczoom.com and have joined us here live. And some of the benefits of joining us here live are, if you have a question in regards to a situation that you or a loved one are going through and you want to know a more natural, holistic, nutritional approach, this is the place to get it. Because folks, not only are we into, the natural stuff, but the reason why we're into this natural stuff is because of the work and research and clinical applications that the doctor that we host on this program has done over the decades. I mean, decades, folks. We're talking at least, 50 decades that he has been, or 5 decades. Just checking. Make sure you're paying attention. 5 decades that he has actually been making recommendations and saving humanity, whether it's the human kind of humanity or the animal kind. They're not humanity, but you get my drift, right? You don't have to be perfect to do this job, folks. So thank you so much for bearing with me as we are getting set up to share some incredible information. Now, if you were shared this program by somebody specific, we want to make sure that you get back with them and give them a great big high five, thank you, hug, whatever it is that you do to show appreciation for sharing this information with you. Because folks, it changed my life. And I know that if you're paying attention, or if somebody sent you to watch this program for a reason, that there is a reason. And it could absolutely be instrumental in changing your life as well. So listen up quick. Get back with that person that shared this program with you. If there is nobody to thank, I do have an amazing team of health coaches who have a passion for health, who have been trained in the teachings of the doctor that we have on this program. And not only a passion for health, but a passion for people and helping people reach their optimal best. We can be reached at 855-949-3377 or through our website, dailywithdoc.com. Use that contact option and you can reach out to us through email there. We also have our newsletter. Make sure that you are signed up for our newsletter, as we will be sending out a weekly newsletter that shares information about our previous programs from the previous week or weeks with the description. So it makes it easy for you to be able to go back and reference and share information that you feel is pertinent to somebody and their own well-being that you have in your life. Okay. So with that all being said, the FDA does require us to let you know that our program is for educational purposes only, and it is on the importance of nutrition, folks, because when you give your body what it needs, the body's able to do something that doctors can't do. The body is able to take that nutrition, put it to work so that it can function more effectively. We're not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient. So let's give our body the nutrients that it needs. The FDA does require us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, diagnose, cure any diseases. But again, there's over 600 different diseases that are linked specifically to nutritional deficiencies. I'm going to let you connect the dots on that one. So without further ado, I just want to welcome to the screen with me a man who has a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, looking at the plants, that led him into being a doctor of veterinary medicine, looking at the body, the systems, how everything works, that led him into 3 postdoctorates in pathology, going deeper at looking at those systems, what's happening when something's missing, and then on to being a naturopathic physician, where he then became able to treat people, folks. Take his research, which is actually held in the National Institute, the Smithsonian National Institute in Washington, D.C., as a national treasure, and take that information because it correlated with mankind as well to help us, you and I, folks, not just our pets, which he loves also, we love also, but mankind, period. So Dr. Joel Wallach, it is my honor and privilege to be able to share you with the world on so many platforms, thanks to AJ.
Okay. Well, thank you, AJ, for getting us on a wider platform. We can't thank you enough for that. And that's going to get the information out there, obviously, to a greater number of people, which is our desire. Save as many lives as we can. And thank you, Rebecca, as usual, for getting everything started and set up today. And today we want to do something a little special. We want to talk about a specific tissue of the body. We want to talk about something that most people don't think about too much. It's called the gallbladder. Okay, the gallbladder. Okay. And
well, that's something that they think is dispensable. Something's not working right, just take out the gallbladder, right?
Well, doctors do that all the time. Well, we were in there, we just took out your gallbladder, so we won't have to worry about it in the future, blah, 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 blah. It's very, very bad. The capacity of the gallbladder is anywhere from 1 ounce to almost 3 ounces to 2.7 ounces of bile. And bile has several functions. But when you eat something, you get messages sent all over the place, including the liver. The liver tells your gallbladder to contract. And when it contracts, it squirts that bile that had been building up since the previous meal. Okay, squirts it in the intestine. And the function of the bile is to help you efficiently absorb fatty tissues. We're talking about fat soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. We're talking about the fats, the essential fatty acids, essential fatty acids, including the omegas and the omega-3s, which are part of the structure of cell walls, okay, many enzymes. And so it's imperative that you have these nutrients to maintain and rebuild and new tissues and so forth. And the gallbladder is required to pull all that off. Now, when you think about it, again, just a little less than 3 ounces, we're looking at a gallbladder with volume capacity of that of about the volume of a golf ball, okay? And it's so important to life to get all these essential nutrients absorbed into the bloodstream so they can go to the proper places and function. And the gallbladder is this little bag, okay? It's a very thin bag, so it expands when it starts filling up with bile, so it's liquid, and it has a smooth muscle in there. So when it gets the electric signals that there's food, that's being digested in the stomach and the duodenum, so it squirts the bile into the duodenum so you can absorb all the fat soluble stuff that's necessary for life and energy and function and so forth, protection, your body defenses. And once you think about how much fatty tissues in the brain, how many fatty tissues are in our sex hormones and so forth, all this kind of stuff. So the gallbladder is in a position of, I like to say essentiality, although you can struggle along and you can live without the gallbladder, but instead of accumulating 3 ounces of bile at a time to squirt into your duodenum, you'll be getting a drop, 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 and that's less effective than having a big blob of bile coming in to your duodenum so you can absorb all those nutrients that are associated with the need for bile. So it's one of those things where, when the doctor says, I'm going in there, you got something going on with your appendix. Well, I'm in there. You want me to take out your gallbladder? And most people say, sure, go ahead and take it out. No, don't do that. Okay. You want that gallbladder. It has very, very important functions. And when you look at it's kind of interesting that I don't think horses have gallbladders. Okay, cows have gallbladders. And of course, we do have an enzyme. We have an enzyme, product called Ultimate Enzyme. I call it the gallbladder in a bottle. Because what we do, we go to the places where they kill cattle, and make steaks out of them, this and the other. But they also will take the gallbladders off the livers of these cattle and give them to us. They don't give them to us, they sell them to us. And we take the bile out of there and dry the bile. And then we put the bile in our the essential enzymes, okay, and we call it the gallbladder in a bottle, okay, and it is one of those things where the bile, okay, that's in our enzymes helps you absorb more essential nutrients than you would be able to do with just plain enzymes. So we call it the gallbladder in a bottle, and it's our ultimate enzymes. And I take 2 or 3 of those, depending on my meal. I'll have no less than 2, oftentimes 3 of the ultimate enzymes, say 5 or 10 minutes for each meal. And that way I'm able to absorb all these essential fatty acids that have to do with the presence of the bile. Okay, so this is very important stuff. It's a small tissue when it comes to, say, 150 pound to 200 pound person. We're talking about just the empty gallbladder that doesn't even weigh an ounce, okay? But it is so important because it delivers an important substance, the bile, into the intestines at the right moment, so you can absorb all these essential fatty acids that make up portions of the walls of every cell in the body. Every cell in the body, the walls are made up of essential fatty acids, okay? And of course, hormones are made up of essential fatty acids. You do not want to be without essential fatty acids, okay? And so, and it prevents abnormal blood clots, okay? The bile prevents abnormal blood clots. You don't get strokes. And so, you start talking about all the things that it does, that gallbladder is one of your best friends. So I rarely talk about it, okay? Because most people, gallbladder, can I buy one? No. I think you probably could get a transplant of gallbladder, but I've heard of that. But it's one of those things where just don't let them take your gallbladder, okay? Because it's so essential. All right, with that, back over to you, Becca.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. So bile is needed to break down the fats, including those in our essential fatty acids.
And absorb them. And we're talking about
And
fats,
absorb.
vitamins A, D, E, and K. And we're talking about essential fatty acids, the omegas, omega-3s, and because they make up the walls of every cell of your body, regardless of what type of tissue it is. So those things require the bile, and the only way you're going to get enough to absorb maximum amounts of the bile is to have a gallbladder. So you can accumulate it during the day as the liver makes it. Okay, it saves it in the gallbladder.
And then you take that whole part of the digestive system out, and then it's like you're just taking away from the body's ability to break down the food and then absorb.
That's correct.
So how I don't understand, and this is just, throwing it out there. I don't understand how anybody would make sense of that other than not having the knowledge in the importance of the gallbladder.
Well, you appreciate that the medical system looks at the gallbladder as an accessory tissue, okay? Now, your liver still makes bile if you take out your gallbladder, but it doesn't accumulate it in any large amounts. It just drip, 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 drip all day, okay? And so you're getting a lot of wasted bile because it's going down into your intestines when there's, no meal there, no food there. And so it just kind of goes away before the food gets there. And so and of course, when the doctor says, well, I'm in there, and I really can't find anything else wrong, but let's take your gallbladder out. And the question you have to ask the doctor is, do you have a kid in college?
I hear you say that a lot, and it's hard to comprehend, Dr. Wallach, because there is that Hippocratic oath that doctors take and doing no harm. Well, my next question, Dr. Wallach, with the gallbladder and taking it out, then, is just doing the product that Dr. Wallach just mentioned, is that enough, or do we have to be intentional about the foods that we are putting in our body?
Well, you definitely have to be intentional about the foods you put in your body, but also you want to, whether you have your gallbladder or it's been taken out, you want to take our ultimate enzymes, which we call the gallbladder in a bottle. So it's actually helping you accumulate those things required by your liver to make bile. So it's already got the bile in there. And so it's kind of like, again, it's a gallbladder in a bottle. I take 2 or 3 of those about 10 minutes for every meal. And it's one of those things where, again, I'm 84 years old. And, most people think, I'm in my 50s or 60s. They can't believe I'm 84 because of my energy. I'm not on any prescription drugs. I don't have any, I certainly don't have any digestion problems. I have, really normal scheduled bowel movements and all that kind of stuff. And so it's not like I have to take drugs to have a bowel movement. It's not like I have to take enemas to have a bowel movement and all that kind of stuff, as many people do. Okay. And so we need to talk with those people because there's a piece in the puzzle missing when they have to have a bowel movement every night. Okay. So they can have have an enema every night so they can have a bowel movement before they go to bed. There's something wrong there.
Or even take different laxatives, Dr. Wallach. I know some people that I've worked with, they'll say, oh, I have a couple a week, couple bowel movements a week. I'm like, how many times do you eat a week? Oh, I eat 3-4 times a day. Well, common sense, folks. Food coming in, it's got to come out. It can't just be backed up, because what happens, Dr. Wallach, whenever you have a lot of fecal matter that is built up into the intestines, not working through? I mean, our food is not pure. There are toxins in it. So what happens with the stuff that's backed up that just sits there? Does that cause harm?
Well, it sits there, but it also releases bad stuff, toxins that goes to your brain and your heart and your lungs and your liver and your kidneys and your muscles and your bones, your bone marrow and all this kind of stuff. So there's a global negative that's going on inside your body, okay, when you have those kinds of issues. And so that's why we came up with the gallbladder in a bottle. And of course, they love us in these slaughterhouses, and they save the gallbladders for us. And in the beginning, we used to cook them ourselves, and then, but after a while, the bigger facilities, they put a ligature around the bile duct so it doesn't leak all the bile out, because we want the bile. We don't want the gallbladder. We want the bile that's in the gallbladder. So they put a little tie on it and snug it up so it doesn't leak everything. And when we come there, we get a bucket full of gallbladders that have 2 to 3 ounces of bile in them. And
So I want to do a disclosure here, Dr. Wallach, okay? Is we don't just go in with some bucket and collect stuff. It's coming from animals that are cleanly fed in a sterile environment where everything is processed, and they're put into sterile containers with proper transportation, and everything is protected. So
yeah,
it's not
they're
like
inspected. They're
go to the
inspected
slaughterhouse,
because
Doc.
they're inspected because they wouldn't let it be used for human food if there's anything wrong, any disease in those cows and steers and stuff like that, and calves. And so it's inspected. It's not like we're going to the garbage dump that they're throwing all this stuff in. We're collecting the gallbladders. These animals, when they're slaughtered, are inspected, okay, by federal agents, okay, to make sure there's no disease in them. And so we're getting guaranteed no disease in those gallbladders.
Yes. So I just wanted to make sure that we had that clear, that it's not just coming from any and every animal that walks through a slaughterhouse, folks. The nice thing that I like about the enzymes, Dr. Wallach, is it also includes, and it's the ultimate enzymes, it includes enzymes that help to break down the proteins, the carbohydrates, and the fats also, in addition to that ox bile that is to help the body, whether we're not making enough bile or no gallbladder, and it's just not being admitted like it was, or the body was designed to have. So thank you so much for that information about the gallbladder, Dr. Wallach. I want to make sure that we do get to people who have questions. And as I'm going through here, YouTube, Raphael has a question. He says, I got a question for Doc. He wants to know what are phytates and what foods contain them, and if we should avoid them because of side effects. So Dr. Wallach, I know that's not in relation to gallbladder, but do you want to touch on phytates real quick?
Okay, well, phytates are kind of connective tissue, fibrous stuff, okay, chemicals that interfere with the absorption of stuff, okay? It interferes with the absorptive surfaces in your intestines and so forth. And the more fibrous the food you eat, the more phytates you get. So people who are vegetarians are eating a lot of phytates because they're eating all this plant material. Okay, so they're getting a lot of phytates. Okay, and on one hand, they can absorb toxins and help you take them out the other end, but also they take up nutrients, as well as if you're on a prescription medication, they will absorb a lot of the prescription medications and take it out the other end, so you're not getting full benefit of the prescription medication.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I haven't heard that part of it, Dr. Wallach, so thank you so much for that. And Pauline has a question in regards to mitochondria. How do toxins get into the mitochondria and cause issues?
Okay, well, mitochondria are structures inside of cells that actually create energy. Okay, that's their purpose, is to produce energy. So, when you eat sugar and carbohydrates and fats and everything, you say, well, I'm eating all this for energy. Well, it's got to go through the various portions of the cells, okay? And so it's one of those things where the mitochondria, is that what we're talking about here, right?
That's right.
The mitochondria are where energy is produced, okay, from what you eat.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And we have a question from Courtney, and she wants to know about fecal transplant, Dr. Wallach. While we're talking about digestion, fecal transplant, and wants to know if it will do anything beneficial for RA, is specifically what she's wanting to know about.
Okay, well, first of all, RA, rheumatoid arthritis, has two factors to it. Number one is just simple nutritional deficiency arthritis. It has a secondary infection, okay, with a bug called mycoplasma, which is killable with an antibiotic called minocycline, like a little bait fish, minocycline. And I can take somebody who's had rheumatoid arthritis for 40 years, and in less than 30 days, they don't have rheumatoid arthritis anymore because we put them on the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, we get them on minocycline, and the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack rebuilds the actual bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons. We can throw in the MSM and throw in the collagen peptides. It'll be faster and more complete. But then also, you have to understand that the antibiotic is required because rheumatoid arthritis is a infection with a bug called mycoplasma.
All right. Thank you so much for that explanation.
See,
So
doctors want you to believe that rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease, your body's attacking itself. That falls into the science of crapola.
So would that fall under why they would consider a fecal transplant?
Well,
I mean, that's like messing
that's
up
because
with
they think
that person's.
that's because they think it's an autoimmune thing, and they want somebody's immune system from somebody else to help deal with that, probably this immune problem. Okay, well, I'd rather take an antibiotic called minocycline than have somebody's poop put into me. Okay,
That's kind of gross. Somebody else's feces. Interesting.
yum yum.
No. Ooh. No. Yeah. Please. Okay. So James here is asking a question in regards to the gallbladder, Dr. Wallach, and prone to gallstones. The doctors are wanting to remove it. So we have a gentleman here who's 200 pounds at 6'2". Prone to gallstones.
Okay.
What causes gallstones?
Okay, gallstones are formed sometimes in the liver, and there's, the size of a pea or smaller, and they kind of go down all the bile ducts and they wind up in the gallbladder and kind of stuff. Sometimes they wind up in the common bile duct, which is from the gallbladder and the intestines, and can cause the gallbladder to fill up with more than normal bile and can be uncomfortable and so forth. Well, here's a case where the 90 essential nutrients to make sure that the liver is getting everything it needs to function properly. I would go ahead and get the gallbladder in a bottle, the ultimate enzymes. Go ahead and take 2 or 3 of those, 5 or 10 minutes for each meal. Be sure you're taking I'd go ahead to the full package, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. We probably should call it the Healthy Brain, Liver, and Heart Pack. Okay. We could also say the Healthy Brain and Liver and Heart and Lung and Intestine and Kidney Pack. Okay. Because it deals with all these tissues and organs and things. And doctors tend to pick one cell, or they'll pick one organ, and so forth. And that's why they do so many surgeries and things, as opposed to getting to the basic program that's been disrupted because of a nutritional deficiency or a poisoning or something, or combinations of that. And so when you have gallstones, taking your gallbladder out is the wrong solution. Wrong. That's not the way to solve the problem. You want to find out why those gallstones are accumulating in the gallbladder. Okay, the gallbladder may not be getting the signals to push out the bile. Okay, or may have other deficiencies that are causing the muscles in the gallbladder and the muscles in the bile ducts to not be working properly. All right, and so there's all kinds of possibilities here. And so I like to when somebody has gallstones, you know, you got to treat the whole body, including the bile ducts and the gallbladder and the biliary tissues, which are in the liver, which brings the bile down into the gallbladder. Okay. And so all that has to be dealt with if you're going to deal properly with gallstones. Just taking your gallbladder out is like saying, well, I have a headache. I'm just going to shoot myself in the head. That'll take care of it. Well, yeah, it will, but you won't like the long-term effect.
So the gallbladder is basically just a bag that holds these stones.
That's
They're
right.
created somewhere
The,
else.
the gallbladder is just a bag that holds the bile. And if there's gallstones coming down in the little biliary tubes from the liver, and they'll plop into your gallbladder. And if your gallbladder, for one reason or another, doesn't have either the signal or the ability, or because of blockages in the common bile duct, because you have maybe liver cirrhosis squeezing it, or, you know, there's all kinds of possibilities here. And this is where an MRI would help. So you can, you know, MRI is the body's ability to tell you the story, okay, without having to do an X-ray, okay. It has to do with
The magnetic
yeah,
resonance imaging.
it's a magnetic thing,
Incredible.
okay. And so you can see the tissues. Actually, you see a much better definition of soft tissue with MRI than you do an X-ray. When you do an X-ray of the skull, you always see the big black hole surrounded by the skull. But when you do an MRI, you see all the wrinkles in the brain and the pituitary gland. You see all that stuff. So an MRI can be extremely useful in these issues.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Next we have, well, let's go ahead and give this gentleman what the protocol would be complete.
Oh,
And
okay.
because we
200
do use
pounds.
longevity as the solution. And folks, if you were referred to this program by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with that person to get these products. Don't go searching on the internet somewhere, because you don't know if you're getting one, actual product, two, within date, or you know, we want to make sure that you're getting quality product that has not been sitting in somebody's warehouse or sitting in a hot shelf that then compromises the products. And two, most importantly, to make sure that what you're getting is actually true longevity products. So get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's nobody to thank, you may go to dailywithdoc.com, and we do have a store that will have all of the products Dr. Wallach is about to mention. So Dr. Wallach, protocol for a gentleman, 6'2", 200 pounds, having stones.
Okay, so needs to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no bar, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks need to go, as well as the carbonated waters. At 200 pounds, I want them to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day, for liver function and kidney function and heart function and intestinal function, the whole thing, brain function. We also need them to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so they take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, and dinner time, and they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. Also need the let's see here, the the collagen. Let's see here, the collagen. Okay, the collagen peptides. Want them to have 2 canisters a month, so you can take a scoop of that with his morning drink, scoop of that with his evening drink. It's going to, again, help build the connective tissue in the liver and the gallbladder and bile ducts and so forth. Then you also need to have the, let's see here, I would also throw in the synaptive, 3 of those twice a day, so that the nerve cells can talk to the gallbladder and the liver. Okay. And then we want we want all this to go on. Of course, the ultimate enzymes, take 2 or 3 of those, say 5 or 10 minutes before each meal, with a couple ounces of water. And it's the gallbladder in a bottle. It's going to help do the function of the gallbladder. Do not take the gallbladder out. Okay. And then get back to us in a couple of weeks and let us know what's going on. And because if you give your liver everything it needs, it will not make any more gallstones. When you're making gallstones, it means your liver is being cheated of something. It's not getting everything at once.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Wallach, I know that there are some practices when people are having problems with digestion, or the gallbladder or different things like constipation, that there's a procedure that actually goes in and cuts the vagus nerve. What's what's the hazards of cutting a vagus nerve? What would be the benefits of it?
Okay, well, the vagus nerve is cranial nerve number 10. It's formed in the brain, comes down, goes all the way down into your stomach. And when you have the skull squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, you get all kinds of stuff going on, okay? You get irregular heartbeat, you get atrial fibrillation. Doctors think it's a heart issue. No, it's the 10th cranial nerve being squeezed by the skull. You can also get slow heart rate, which is bradycardia. You can also get a fast heart rate, tachycardia. You can also get terrible pain in your stomach. Doctors, oh, you got an ulcer. And it's really the 10th cranial nerve. It's called gastroparesis. Look up gastroparesis. Okay, Gastro. I think it's Pores.
RASIS.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Gastroparesis. Okay.
SIS.
Okay. And so that's the pain in the stomach. That's the 10th cranial nerve, which starts in the brain. And you don't want to be cutting that nerve, okay? Because then you'll have trouble with digestion and absorption, you have pain, all this kind of stuff. You do not want to cut that nerve.
Well, I have a girlfriend, Dr. Wallach, that before she knew me, before she knew that there were other options, she had her gallbladder removed. They accidentally cut that vagus nerve, and now she's going through hell. Just always in pain, always having problems with anything moving through her system. So, folks, be real careful when they start talking about cutting on anything. Make sure that you have all the facts, all of the options, and ask them, well, is there a natural option? Is there another approach to this without having to do surgery?
That's why we're here, so they can ask questions like that, so we can give them, the options. And
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so we have another question, Dr. Wallach, and this has to do with, I think, sunburn, second-degree burns. What is good to get my color back on my legs? I got burned, 60% on my legs, second-degree burns. 60 years old, 160 pounds, no health, or 170 pounds, and no other health conditions. So something caused burning on this lady's skin, Dr. Wallach. Is there anything you can do to support the skin and be able to, one, if it's recent, help it to not be so painful quicker, but
okay.
to restore color?
Well, first of all, never go out in the sun without some sunblocker on. She must be a blonde.
Well, I'm wondering, because you could get second-degree burns from boiling water too.
Yeah, but unless she said boiling water.
It just says burns. It doesn't say. She got burnt. 60% on her legs.
Okay. Well, in any case, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat and bar, rye and oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks and the carbonated water need to go. At 170 pounds, she needs to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose everything twice a day. Then she needs 2 bottles a month of MSM. So you take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time to give the skin the raw materials it needs to rebuild itself. Then she needs the collagen peptides, 2 of those canisters per month. So you take a scoop of that with her morning drinks, with her evening drink again to help the body repair the skin. She needs the hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 of those. If it says terrible second-degree burns, I'd have her take 3 of the let's see here, 3 of those hair, skin, and nails 3 times a day. So these are small bottles, so it'd be 3 of those little bottles a month. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. And then, of course, we have all kinds of skin things, okay, it will help the skin when it comes to relieving itching and pain and all that kind of stuff. CM cream will do that, okay, where she could put on her joints her back, her belly, wherever she has the worst places of the pain, the CM cream does wonders for about anywhere from, depending on the degree of damage, we're talking about 2 to 4 hours of discomfort relief, pain relief. Okay. It doesn't fix anything, but it does give you pain relief while you're healing. Okay. And so the CM cream is not a healing thing, but it does relieve the pain so you can function during the day while you are healing. So I hope that helps.
Yes. So Dr. Wallach, I know you weren't looking at my face, but for those that were watching the program, saw a change in my face as I was just shared a picture of what this individual's legs look like. And it's pretty intensive, Dr. Wallach. So AJ is sharing this from, I think, YouTube. So for the person that's going through this, please make sure that you get a hold of us through dailywithdoc.com. I will then share this information, this picture with Dr. Wallach. And what he gave you is absolutely the foundation. And I think spraying plant-derived minerals directly on the skin, Dr. Wallach, can go a long ways in this situation as well, as
Absolutely cannot
I've
hurt.
seen it.
Cannot hurt because this plant minerals are a great healer. And we have some great stories of people who were, within minutes of dying, according to doctors. And we just rubbed the plant-derived minerals on them, the liquids, okay? And 3 days later, they're perfectly normal.
Well, and as I'm getting more information here, this is the aftermath of a house fire.
Mm-hmm.
So thankful that you made it out of that house fire. Hopefully no one else was injured as bad or worse than you. So we definitely are here to help with that as well. Oh, goodness. So Dr. Wallach, as I'm going through and I have more and more questions, I have somebody that's wanting to know about the appendix. Does it work like the gallbladder? Is it something that's needed also?
Well, the good Lord gave us an appendix. Now, that does have to do with your immune system. It has to do with white blood cells and so forth, and antibodies. And so it actually helps protect you. I mean, when you think about it, your colon is full of all the bad bacteria and viruses and all kinds of bad stuff, poisons and things. And so where the small intestine hooks into the large intestine, the good Lord gave us an appendix to kind of be a filter, okay, to protect you from a lot of bad stuff, okay, poisons, toxic chemicals that are produced by the body, by infections, and so forth. So your appendix is part of your immune system. Now, when you have appendicitis and it ruptures, it's time to have it removed, okay? And so this is where I like the MRI, because it'll tell you a lot about your appendix as opposed to an X-ray, because you can see the details of the outside and the inside of the appendix, and the doctor can make an educated determination. Does this appendix need to be removed? Okay, or is it okay? That's where an MRI will be able to help you make that determination. Okay, because there's no radiation in it. That's one of the values of it. But also another value is it's very, very detailed in soft tissue where an X-ray is not. Okay.
Well, and people usually don't think about the appendix unless there is a serious problem, Dr. Wallach.
Well, it's painful. It's painful, and everybody knows. Oh, down my lower right, quadrant there, where my appendix is. They always know where their appendix is. That's on the right side. Okay. And so this is not difficult. You don't need to be a doctor to figure out you have something going on with your appendix when you have pain down there. Okay.
Well, and for me, Dr. Wallach, it was more than pain. It was pain. It was vomiting. I ended up going in for emergency appendectomy because it had burst. So, you don't think about these things. What are we putting into our bodies that could be the actual cause of poor health conditions, situations that lead into an emergency situation?
Okay, what leads into an appendicitis? Gluten alert, buckwheat, gluten alert, buckwheat, gluten alert, buckwheat.
Well, I
Okay.
wasn't doing any buckwheat, but I was grinding my own wheat. I was making my own breads, my own cinnamon rolls, all of these baked goods.
Gluten alert, gluten alert, gluten alert, gluten alert. And that's why your appendix wasn't happy. Okay. And when it gets so unhappy, it will burst. Okay. Just like when you have a heart attack kind of thing, when your heart's unhappy, it'll go so far and then it will burst, get ruptured aneurysms, all kinds of stuff. Okay. And the appendix is no different. Okay. And so it's one of those things where what makes it dangerous when it ruptures, it spills all these bacteria and viruses into your belly cavity, okay, which can be fatal.
Yeah, we don't want to go there, folks. Prevention is so much better than reaction, especially if you react too late. Well, Dr. Wallach, it is time for you to go on to the next program as you have a very busy schedule at your 84 years. So thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. And if I could get my co-hosts on with me, man, we cannot do a prediction like this without the support of many people. We have Marilyn Pizzera, which Spears, if you are here live with us in the Zoom and you have that chat on, you see how valuable her work is as she is taking and doing dictation of what Dr. Wallach is saying within the program, the questions that are being asked. She is putting that right there in the meeting chat. And because of HIPAA violations, which we do not want to even consider being part of, that information is not shared on our live streams. So that's one benefit of being here. If you're here live with us and you do have your question answered or a similar situation compared to something you or someone you know and love has, you are able to do a screenshot or use your phone and take a picture of that so that you can take that to your coach or the person that referred you to this program or your future coach if you don't have one, and say, hey, I have this protocol that Dr. Wallach gave on Daily with Doc, and it sounds like something I need to get to. Can you help me get it? You can reach somebody if you're not working with somebody already on our website on that contact option and send us an email with the protocol that you took the screenshot out of, and we'll make sure that we get you a program that best fits your situation. Or you can call us at 855-949-3377. Again, this is for people who are not currently working with somebody, not referred to this program by somebody specific who is one of our family when it comes to our family of coaches and associates who promote the work that Dr. Wallach does and has done in his formulas. Okay. We want to make sure that our resource to them stays intact with integrity that way. And then we have Miss Sherry, and Sherry is making sure that everybody gets into the Zoom quickly and make sure that if they have their camera on, everything is kosher with what is being seen in the camera. And that is for the safety of our whole entire audience that is here live with us. And then we have AJ, who's watching all these different platforms, all these different screens now, making sure that the message is getting where it's supposed to be without interruptions. And if something happens, he makes it work. So I could not do this without AJ. And thank you again, AJ, for taking us from 3 platforms to, we're going to have to do an actual count, but it is over a dozen. And it's all because of a team working together with their strengths for the greater purpose. So folks, if you have strengths that you would like to contribute to something that's worthwhile, something that promotes life, that promotes wellness, that promotes not just wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but also financially, make sure you get back with the person that shared this program with you, or send us an email or call us at 855-949-3377 and let us know, hey, I want to be part of this crusade that Dr. Wallach has started in helping to make the world a better place all around. Because think about it. If we are sick and miserable, our outward expressions to the people around us is going to be sick and miserable. And then that forwards on to the people they're around because they've been made miserable. So if we're all functioning and happy and healthy, and then that beams out to those around us, but beams out to those around them, then there's no other way but to be a happier place. So let's go spread some sunshine. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Again, my name is Becca Dukes. And if you would like to get more information about our coaching program that we have through the Institute of Holistic Health, it is open to anybody and everybody. As long as you have internet connections, you can plug into the coursework at the Institute of Holistic Health and become a certified holistic health coach, where you are learning about the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutrient deficiencies, and then also the solutions, folks. You can find out more information at coachwithdoc.com. That is coachwithdoc, DOC.com. Until next time, bye for now. Oh, I forgot to mention, hold on, AJ, I did this to him yesterday and he stopped it before I was done because he's like on it. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. So if you would like to join us live in our Zoom room, please do so by going to dailywithdoczoom.com. That is dailywithdoczoom.com. Bye for now.
Record.